Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how to import games into your schedule. So what you can do is you can build your schedule in Excel or spreadsheet program into a comma separated values file, and then you can import it into the system. So let's look at it from the website admin. So in the website admin, you want to be on the schedule page, and then you want to click the add button and you want to choose import games. Let's take you to the import games screen. On this screen you can download a template file if you click this link, and I'll show you what that looks like here. So here's the template file, and it shows you the columns that you'd commonly use, being the date of the game, the time of the game, the home and the away team. Division is optional. Depending if it's playoffs and the teams are unknown, then you must specify it. You can also break that into a home division and an away division column if you prefer. Facility, rink, or it could be court or field, depending on the sport you're using. The game type being exhibition, regular season, playoffs. For tournaments, there's also a round robin option, and then a notes field, which is optional. Sometimes it's nice for playoff games and things to say like best of game 1 of 2 or game 3 of 3 or something like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and one more note here is there's an upload guide right here. So you can click that, and then it kind of runs through the different columns here. These are the optional the columns that you can have. It tells you if it's required or not. So for example, date and time is required, and it tells you the values and what you can do for each column. So go ahead and close that. So let's select, you got to select your league, and then your season, and then your file. So I've prepared a file here. The next one is game type. So you're saying whether it's exhibition, regular season, playoffs, or you can just say choose from CSV. So if you say this, then that means you'll have a game type column in your file, a schedule file. So here is our schedule file right here, and you can see we have a game type column. So instead of just doing one type, it's going to look in this column to determine the type for the game. And then the last option here was replace duplicate game numbers. So if you have a game number column here, sometimes for like tournaments and things, you add your schedule and then you realize that you need to just change a couple games. So if you check that box off when you upload it, then if you've already uploaded your schedule, it won't create duplicates of the games, it'll just replace the games. And this tooltip right here tells you about it. So, okay, so the first important thing to know is that your season must be within your date range here. So you can only schedule games within the range of your season. So in the stats admin, let's just go to seasons for a sec, and then we're going to look at the season that we're going to upload the schedule for, and you can see it has a season start date and a season end date. So the games that you're scheduling must be between these two dates here. If you don't put them, if you have them outside these dates, for example, if your games are starting before the start date or you have games scheduled after this end date, then it will error. It will tell you that, and then you can go and correct it. So let's go ahead and import the schedule, and so what I did is actually in the schedule here I did make a mistake. So I'm going to show you what happens if you make an error in the file. So I changed the team Bears here to just Bear, and the system will catch that. When you put values into these fields, they have to match exactly what's in the system. So for example, we have our home team and our away teams here, and our facilities and rinks. So these have to match the values in the stats pages. So if you put a team in here, like Rockets, for example, and you don't have Rockets added, then the system will error, and so you must add it there. Or, for example, for facilities, you must have all the facilities here, so the system will error, and then you need to add your facility. So let's do that as well. Actually, let's change one of these facilities. We'll just call it Sports Center, and we'll save our file. And now let's go ahead and import the schedule. So here we go. We're going to go schedule. We're going to go to import games, browse to our league, our season, grab our file. We'll say choose from the file, and we'll say continue. So you notice there's a few errors here. The Sports Center facility was not added, and the home team Bear it could not find, and it tells you what row on the in your sheet the problem was. So this is on row 6, there's the error here, and then on row 4 here is the error here. So let's go back to our sheet, and we can see on row 4 there was the Facility Air Sports Center, and then here. So what we'll do is we'll correct it to Bears, and so that'll be okay now. And now we'll save our file. And now we need to add this facility, Sports Center, and put a rank 2 on it. So we're going to go back to our stats interface here, and we'll add a new facility. We'll call it Sports Center, and we'll say save. And then we're going to go to rinks, and we're going to put a rank on it. And we'll say rank 2, save, and we'll close that. One thing to note is that if you're using time zones, if you have multiple time zones for your games, then if you look at a facility here, it has time zone here. So when the system creates a game, it will take the time zone of the facility, unless it is not specified. If it's left blank like this, then it will take the time zone sitting on the league itself. So if you don't set it on the facility and then later you realize that the game is in the wrong time zone, you'd have to go to the schedule page, you'd have to find the game, you'd have to edit the game, and then you'd have to manually set the time zone here. Okay, so we've corrected our file, so let's go ahead and we'll go to Import Games, we'll go to Browse, we'll get our file, and we'll say Choose, and then we'll say Continue. And there we go. So this worked, so it had no errors. So you can see it tells you that the teams that it imported for, and there's an unknown team. So let's look back at our file for 1 sec here. You'll notice that one of the games is a playoff game here. And if in the system, if you put in game type of playoffs, then you can put in whatever you want for the team name. So first place or 8th seed or first seed, something like that. So these teams are actually not teams in the system, because at the time of scheduling this file, we don't know the actual teams because the regular season has not completed yet. So if you put up type playoffs, then you can put unknown team names in here. They're not real team names. And then when you go and schedule your games, for example, here's the game we just put in, then before this game can be scored, you would need to click and you would just need to set the actual team name when you know what it is. So that's all there is to importing games. Thanks for watching.